The roguelike dungeon arena is a packed place. Is there room for one more game that adds in a few cool little wrinkles to the genre? Let's find out as I review Skelly Selest on the Nintendo Switch. Now, whilst sounding like a name you'd call the school dweeb, Skelly Selest refers to you, a skeleton tasked with being the last barrier of bones between the demon underworld and destruction of the world as we know it. The story does nothing clever really, and is a fairly obvious one, but I don't play these games for the story. To this day I still have no idea what I'm supposed to stand for in Enter the Gungeon. Skelly Selest had three main modes: a dungeon brawler, where enemies come at you in randomly generated rooms, clear enough and a portal door opens to the next room, or if you're really unlucky, a boss appears that you need to beat before you can progress. Between each room you can choose from a random selection of upgrades, which help you tackle stronger waves of enemies, and so the loop goes on. The second mode is a more standard Binding of Isaac style game where you work your way through a series of connected rooms in a dungeon, searching for the exit whilst picking up loot. Now, as I say, this is very much in the vein of an Isaac, Gungeon or Nuclear Throne, and if you've played any of those before, you'll be well at home here. The final mode on offer is oddly a card game, where you take turns versus the AI laying your diamond shaped cards on a table, and if the number on the edge of your card is higher than the one of the opponent's card you're laying it next to, you claim that card. Now, the person with the most cards after 5 each have been played is the winner. Now, when I saw the trailers for this game, I was hoping the card game would be more intrinsically linked to the main dungeon runs somehow, but alas, it's still a fun distraction to play, and when you start to pick up wins you will unlock items for your main game runs into the underworld. The dungeon crawling parts of the game handle quite well. You have 2 weapons, an axe and a gun, and your gun has finite bullets that can only be restocked with axe kills. It's a clever mechanic, very similar to the recently released Arcane if you've played that. Oddly enough, the default controls are not set up for twin stick shooting, so remember to dive into the options early on and set that up, otherwise it just feels cumbersome to play. The options in this game are actually massively customisable though, from a variety of control options right through to toning down the graphical look or applying old school filters. The pixel art in the game is very extreme, almost 8-bit with a Sinclair Spectrum colour palette. And whilst it looks crazy at first glance, I never had any issues playing with the default look of the game, and I never felt I was being punished in any way due to not being able to pick out enemies or projectiles. There's a fair variety of enemies, weapons and even hats in the game, and despite its very basic look, I really dig the art style in this game. Similarly, the music, whilst not having any particularly memorable tunes, suit the tone of the game nicely. The controls in the game, once you've activated that right stick, are fine. The directions of attack feel a little bit locked into just those 8 directions, a bit more than I'd like, but you'll soon get used to this, and a real key control to remember is your dash button, which by default is mapped to the Y button. You'll need to make this your friend, as your attack animations can leave you wide open to eager enemies, so it's best to get in, take a swing and get the heck out of dodge. Welcome at the roguelike arena table. Now, whilst it won't sit at the very head, which is reserved for the Binding of Isaac, it's certainly in the mix. I would say my biggest negative is the difficulty level, which can be super hard at times, bordering on frustration, but if you pick up some decent early loot you can enjoy a lengthy romp slicing through the demonic horde. The low price of entry of £8.99 and $9.99 is fair, especially considering if you can get your purchase in pretty quick, you can take advantage of a 20% discount on this price until late June. Now, as I've suggested, I'm a massive fan of these sorts of games and I'm always happy to see a new one pop up. The unique art style is nicer in motion than you'd expect, and the real winner here is the variety of game modes that are on offer, which ensure even the quickest dip in and out are always going to be fun. I'm going to give Skelly Selest on the Nintendo Switch a 7.5 out of 10. Okay, thanks very much for watching this review. Please subscribe if you're new here, it really helps me out. And if you are already subscribed, drop me a comment below, let me know what you think about this one, and also what are your favourite dungeon crawlers like this. I mean, as I've said, mine is the Binding of Isaac, but there are a few on the Switch, so which ones do you guys like? Thanks for watching once again, remember to stay switched on, and I will see you on the next video. Cheers, bye bye!